Hello and welcome. Here are breaking stories from outside Africa. Venezuelan opposition leader María Corina Machado has reiterated her ambition to lead Venezuela, saying she believes she will be elected president when the time is right, becoming the country's first female president. Machado made the remarks after meeting U.S. President Donald Trump and U.S. senators in Washington. She spoke on Fox News' Fox and Friends program, insisting the opposition won the disputed 2024 election. Her party has presented what it describes as evidence that President Nicolás Maduro rigged the polls, claims backed by Washington and several members of the international community. However, President Trump has dismissed Machado's level of domestic support and has instead backed Maduro's former vice president, Delcy Rodríguez, as interim leader, following the January 3rd U.S. military operation in Venezuela, citing U.S. strategic interests, including access to the country's oil reserves.
We are going to turn Venezuela into that land. We are going to turn Venezuela into that land of grace. And I believe I will be elected when the right time comes as president of Venezuela, the first woman president of Venezuela.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says documents linked to a potential peace agreement with the United States could be signed next week at the World Economic Forum in Davos if negotiations succeed. Zelensky says a Ukrainian delegation is heading to the U.S. to discuss security guarantees and a proposed prosperity package tied to a possible ceasefire. Speaking in Kiev, the president said Ukraine hopes to clarify Russia's position during the talks, even as Moscow continues to insist on what Ukraine describes as maximalist demands. The development comes after U.S. President Donald Trump accused Zelensky of delaying a deal, saying Russian President Vladimir Putin is ready to negotiate, while Ukraine is less willing.
Наша українська команда, попри все, активно працює з представниками президента Сполучених Штатів Америки. Цими днями будуть заплановані зустрічі наших українських представників в Сполучених Штатах. Українська делегація зараз на шляху в Сполучені Штати. І ми сподіваємося, що буде більше ясності, як щодо тих документів, які ми вже фактично підготували з американською стороною, так і щодо відповіді Росії на всю ту дипломатичну роботу, яка...
Now, Russia has opened a closed-door court hearing in Moscow in a lawsuit against the Belgian financial firm Euroclear over the freezing of Russian assets in Europe. The Russian central bank accuses Euroclear of acting illegally and is demanding about $232 billion, a figure it says includes frozen assets and compensation for lost returns. The judge ordered the proceedings to be held behind closed doors at the request of the central bank.
Но мы просто возмущены тем, что фактически в нашем понимании в процессуальные нарушения нас просто не, при процессуальных нарушениях, простите, нас просто не пустили в процесс. Сейчас вообще вот частные инвесторы, они ведут самую разную работу. Кто-то пытается обратиться с лицензиями, кто-то пишет в законодательные там органы, то есть, соответственно, в Госдуму запросы депутатам, кто-то пишет постоянные запросы в Центробанк. Реакции, по сути своей, никакой.
Я хотел вступить, но мой отец на двоих у нас где-то по рыночной стоимости, если брать сейчас, то где-то около 12-13 миллионов. Вот. Но это сумма, на которую можно дом построить в Московской области, например. Собственно, я для этих целей и инвестировал-то.
A bipartisan delegation of U.S. lawmakers have met leaders of Denmark and Greenland, seeking to reassure them of congressional support amid President Donald Trump's renewed threats to seize Greenland. Trump has described the Arctic island as critical to U.S. national security because of its strategic location and mineral resources, and has not ruled out the use of force. European countries have since deployed small numbers of troops to Greenland at Denmark's request. The U.S. delegation, led by Democratic Senator Chris Coons, is meeting Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen and Greenland's leader Jens Frederik Nielsen.
Are there real pressing threats to the security of Greenland from China and Russia? No, not today. Are there real opportunities for us to partner through NATO to contribute to Arctic security? Yes, and if we ask respectfully and plan together, we can achieve that goal. Are there opportunities to develop sustainably the resources of Greenland if that's of interest to American companies? Yes, and so there's a lot of rhetoric, but there's not a lot of reality in the current discussion in Washington.
And I think it is important to underscore that when you ask the American people whether or not they think it is a good idea for the United States to acquire Greenland, the vast majority, some 75%, will say, we do not think that that is a good idea. This senator from Alaska does not think it is a good idea.
And that's all from Beyond the Continent. When we return after the break, the conversation focuses on Uganda as the presidential election continues to unfold and key questions emerge around the process, participation, and the road ahead.